So try to get back in shape, but I ain't making no promises. Most people don't notice about me, but I used to wrestle in high school. I finished sixth in the state my senior year on a torn meniscus. I wrestled on a torn meniscus my entire season. To this day, my biggest accomplishment probably was when I was wrestling in college. I wrestled in college for about 5 minutes at Appalachian State. We ran 6 miles before wrestling practice one day. And I ran the whole 6 miles. No stopping. Then we had practice. And then the next day we ran 6 miles again. And that's when I decided ball was not life. Because I don't like running like that. And plus, when you're a wrestler, it's not like a regular sport. You know, if I drink a bottle of water, I got to think about the pound and 4 ounces I just drank. I would love to go back in time to stop the first asshole who was ever just cutting weight. Because, you know, wrestling is an Olympic sport. It's one of the first sports, period. And I would love to stop that first asshole who decided he was going to get an advantage by cutting a bunch of water weight. So that way he had more of a strength advantage over his opponents. Because that bastard is the reason why wrestlers and mixed martial arts fighters and boxers do that goofy ass shit today. Because why can't we just wrestle what we weigh? That is not what this video is about. So I'm going into the gym today, and this dude stops me because he recognized me. It's starting to happen a lot in Chicago a lot. It's starting to happen a lot in the city these days, and I'm very grateful. I'm probably finna do a show out here real soon. Honestly, I didn't think Chicago was rocking with me like that because it's a very female-dominated place. These women are brolic and masculine, and they pretty much run shit out here. So it's a big blessing that I got a bunch of fans that are in Chicago. But that being said, he was telling me that, you know, somebody needs to humble these women. And I was like, why? You see, I think a lot of people confuse what my channel is. I wasn't a guy who set out trying to humble women or trying to make red pill content for anybody. I was a dude making one joke about one of his exes. You hear what I'm saying? She used to talk shit about how dumb single moms are. And then 4 years later, she's a whole single mom. I wasn't here trying to tell people they shouldn't date single moms or none of that shit, right? I was just making a joke. So I made the joke. The joke turned into a song, and I was just making more jokes to go with the song. And that's when I was introduced to the front camera criers and all the ridiculous bitches on the internet. But that wasn't news to me. I know bitches can be ridiculous, but I know women are great. You see, I'm very comfortable with the B word simply because it's only a small subsection of women that get called bitches. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to humble women. I'm just not afraid to laugh at them. We live in a society where women are equal, but they also want special treatment. And that's not really how that works around here. You get equal rights and equal lefts. I'm not talking about a physical confrontation. I'm talking about these jokes, girl. Because if you don't think it's a joke that you talk so much shit about single moms and then you became one, that's hilarious. And if you don't think it's a joke that you set up your phone probably with some sort of holder like this, put it on, cry into the front camera, and then you post it, you crazy. That's hilarious. If you don't think it's hilarious that you post your biggest L of your life on the internet for attention and likes, that's hilarious. I'm gonna give you some attention, all right, girl. And the thing is, you know, women are actually hilarious. The things that they say and do are just hilarious, just like men are hilarious. But here's the thing. People been making fun of men my whole life. There are so many channels, so many women's whole persona is around making fun of men. Dare I say even hating men. So I know men can be weird. I know men can be creepy. I know lots of these men are just bitch ass niggas out here. But that's not what we here for, because that would just be redundant. Everybody makes fun of men. Men and women alike. But nobody has the audacity to make fun of women. And I don't understand why. They're low-hanging fruit. Women are hilarious. The problem is, every man who dares have the audacity to make fun of women, they're kind of misogynist. You couldn't pay me to be a misogynist. I don't care enough. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care about the state of modern day women. I don't care about women as a whole. That ain't my job. More importantly, women been telling me my whole life they don't care about what I think as a man. So why would I think that just because I have a platform, women are going to listen to me and be humbled? I never think any of the women who I make videos about or stitch their videos or I roast their ass, I don't think any of them are going to come around and see the light. And personally, I don't care what you do with your life. Ruin your life, bitch. I will never care. But if you put it on the internet for me to see, and it's hilarious, please believe I'm going to laugh. And now that I got this awesome job, I'm going to roast you. Because it's just what we do around here. But back to homie from the gym. He was saying somebody needs to humble these women. And I was like, why? And he couldn't really answer the question. And then he thought about it for a while. He was like, well, these women are out of control. I said, see, here's the thing, my boy. You see this ship right here tattooed on my wrist? If you think about ships as your positivity and the surrounding water as the negativity, your ship doesn't sink because it's surrounded by water. It sinks because it gets inside. That being said, if you spend so much effort focused on negativity and things you don't like, that's what you attract. Me personally, in real life, I don't deal with these ridiculous women that I roast on the internet. I had a really bad showing on Fresh and Fit. Do you know why? I don't argue with ridiculous bitches in real life. If I feel like I want to call you a bitch, I'm not going to talk to you. There are lots of women who I would just ignore and walk away from as soon as they open their mouth. So that's probably why, actually that is why I look so bad on Fresh and Fit, because I don't deal with bitches very well. I like women. I like ladies. Hell, I even like a rough ass broad who don't mind being called a bitch because she's like, I'm from the hood and shit, but like, when you walk and talk and act like a bitch, if everything about you screams bitch, I don't want to be around you. It gets me out of character. You feel me? I'm a masculine man. I like feminine women. Just like I don't date women who don't cook. You don't hear me on this channel talking shit about women who don't cook. You'll never hear me in real life talking shit about women who don't cook. I just don't be bothered with them. Ever since I found out there's a whole population of women who will cook for their man and then watch him eat it, I'm not trying to change a broad who don't cook. You shouldn't try to humble a broad. You shouldn't try to humble a bitch. You should never try to humble a woman. Find a humble woman. What I always say about the bros who get online and complain about these women, just go get you a new bitch, my boy. Whatever age of women you like, there is a fresh batch every single summer. He was like, you know what? I never thought about it like that. But in the same breath, he was like, so who do you like to date? You like black women, you like Latino women, and then like a typical Chicago racist, because everybody in Chicago is racist, whether they realize it or not. He was like, yeah, man, these black girls ain't really it. But like the Puerto Ricans, they started to act like the black girls these days. And I'm just like, my boy. You see how you so worried about the negative ones? There are good women of all races, bro. Just don't deal with the bitches. Once a bitch show you she a bitch, you quit dealing with her and you deal with a woman. That's the problem. Y'all spend so much time dealing with bitches. Drop that bitch and go get you a woman. Now, a lot of that stems from, let's be honest, we're the hunters. So we shoot the shots, we get rejected. Lots of men just don't want to get rejected. So they'll do their best to stay in a bad relationship because they don't want to go back into the streets because they don't have the confidence to go get a new woman. If that's the case, we've all been there, my boy. Look yourself in the mirror and just improve your game. More importantly, if you want to improve your game and you just don't know how, I guess I can just start helping niggas out, because one thing I got, I got game, baby. I got all the game, baby. You know why? Being funny holds weight. I'm not 6 feet. I don't have a beard. But I'm always dating a fine-ass woman. I'm hilarious, bitch. But I wasn't always funny. I was that kid in school who always laughed at everybody else's jokes, because funny is funny. And if I can't think of a joke, I'm not going to just try to get some attention on myself because I got to say something. I'm just going to laugh. Um, I became funny over time because I've experienced a lot of tragedy and shit, and I guess it's just kind of shaped my sense of humor. I've kind of evolved into this heightened state of hilarious. It's like an ultra instinct due to my upbringing and how life has treated me. I wouldn't recommend the life I've lived to anybody, by the way. I know y'all probably look at me and y'all think I've probably had things easy or had things given to me because I look like this. It's the exact opposite, my boy. I have lived an extremely tough life that has been full of basically people making me do everything myself while I watch them help other people. So yeah, I'm nobody's pretty boy, and I used to wrestle. I'm pretty rough. So this homie, this guy, he was telling me that he was telling this woman that she needed to stop listening to Sexy Red and that type of music is poisoning her mind. I said, why? He said, well, these women need to understand. I said, whoa. Why are we trying to make these women understand something? How about you just go get you a woman who understands? We are in a day and age where lots of women ain't trying to learn shit from no man. Period, my boy. So just leave them alone. We gotta start, y'all, I can't say y'all gotta start doing better at dealing with these women. And when I say dealing better at dealing with these women, I mean not dealing with their ass. You don't have to be lonely. Just go get you a new bitch. It's very simple. If you feel like you gotta always tell a woman about herself, you don't need to be with this woman. You need to be with somebody like-minded. Especially in this day and age. Y'all know on the internet they tell us they don't care about what we think. So instead of arguing with a woman, how about you just go get you a woman who cares about what you think, my boy? It's that simple.